Well, it looks like the gang's all here. What are you talking about, Nappa? I'm saying it's you, and me, Nappa, and Raddish. God, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be dead. Well, good news. We are going to be dead in a few seconds. What? What are you talking about? I'm saying we're going to be part of something special. What are you talking about, Nappa? I'm saying, Vegeta, we're delicious and nutritious.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
Hey there YouTubers, today we're going to be making some kimchi, and this is something I'm excited for because I do like kimchi, but the thing is that like the kimchi I've gotten in the stores, some of it's good and some of it is not as good as I would like it to be. So what we're going to be doing is a fermented kimchi, and the basic recipe, I'm not going to follow it 100% because you know what, I'm an adult and I do what I want to do, you know. So, but we're going to take the basic recipe from Fermented Foods by MacLeod. I think that's how you say it. Yep, MacLeod. So, of course, the headliner is, you know, Nappa. Got Nappa cabbage right here. The recipe calls for medium Nappa cabbage, and you know, I don't think that's medium. What do you think? I think that's pretty big. It's going to call for a half of an onion, but since this, you know, cabbage is so big, I'm just going to use a whole onion, you know. And then it calls for 5 to 7 green onions, and you know, I'm not a super fan of green onion, and this is mostly just for flavor. And we got our Daikon Raddish here too, and you want a total of 5 cloves of garlic. You got 2 halves right here, so we're going to go with that. And then we also going to need ginger.
Oh my god.
3-inch piece of ginger. Well, you know, this is more than 3 inches. I'm going to call this the Ron Jeremy of the one that I saw at the store. And we're just going to do about, you know, about that much. Length of your hand, that's about 3 to 3.5 inches worth. And we're going to save the rest because, you know, it turns out me and Katie really like ginger. The recipe calls for a pear, but seeing as that pears right now are crap, and anywhere that you get a pear, like unless it's in season, it's going to be crap. And then, of course, you know, one of the bad boys of it is this gochujang. The recipe also can call for, what's that spice called?
So it's gochugaru. Gochugaru is the red pepper flake that makes up gochujang. The difference is that gochujang is blended into a paste with a couple other ingredients. Mm-hmm. So it may lack just a slight bit of potency, but otherwise we have found that it cooks pretty much just as well as gochugaru in a lot of recipes.
This says level 3, if you can like see right there, level 3. That's not true. I'd use a whole crap ton of this, and like, you know, you can see like we bought this, you know, and all this was taken out and used for both a spaghetti recipe and a mock Asian dish that we decided to do. And so we got this gochujang, and I really like that. I'm definitely going to buy a bigger tub of that. And it's all in Korean, so I don't know, except for that, I don't know why they would have this in English, but all of this in Korean. That doesn't make any sense. Iho! I guess that's what it said. And then we have our other ingredient, fish sauce. Now, I have never used fish sauce. I worked in a warehouse that carried fish sauce, and we were told that if we break a box of it, we're fired. So apparently this stuff has a smell to it. I didn't know what kind to go to. I've seen some recommended stuff like Red Bow, but this is by Squid, and this was a number 3 according to Google. They said, you know, we're going to go with that. And of course we got a vegetable peeler so we can peel our apple. If that's not going to work, then we'll just use a knife. So like I said, the squid sauce or the fish sauce is supposed to be really smelly. And I don't know how smelly it is. I know what fish smells like, so let's crack this open and see how it smells. And it says optional. We may have to do optional and just throw this out. I don't know how much I paid for it. I think I paid like $4 or something for it. So, okay. Oof. trying to think what that reminds me of.
Typically, this recipe does call for like some sort of like shrimp paste or oyster sauce, stuff like that. Like it's typically a seafood medley that's required. But we figured fish sauce would be probably the best intermediate that wouldn't make him sick, because he's not a big seafood fan.
No. Very
few seafoody things he'll eat.
It smells like you know when like if you bite your fingernails or you get a hangnail and you try to get it and then like it doesn't work, and then like you took away too much of the media and now it gets all swollen and everything, and then like pus eventually comes out.
I think
this is what this smells like. It smells kind of like pus, like rotten human flesh.
I think we've gone too far with this comparison.
I mean,
it's strong, it's salty, it's fishy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta taste it too.
It's strong. It's gonna be pretty salty, a little bit of fishy.
Oh god.
It's not your forte. Down the hatch.
Well,
it's not. It's not great, but it's
super salty. And it's okay. It tastes better than it smells. But that's super salty.
Mind you, he is a super smeller and taster, so the moment that stuff hits his tongue, it's
okay, do you want to try a little bit?
I've had fish sauce. I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it?
Yeah.
Well, screw you too.
It's not Armageddon in my mouth like it is for you.
That was super salty. So it's a good thing I'm definitely going to cut the salt down on this if I'm going to leave it in. Well, how much does this recipe call for?
That's what I was saying.
I didn't read the recipe. You got to read the recipe. Let's see how much.
And that's why it's important to rinse off your cabbage.
Oh, 1 teaspoon of fish sauce. Okay, so that's okay. So we need 1 teaspoon of this stuff. So that's not so bad. But man, we're gonna have to figure out how to use all this stuff up.
That's kind of the glory of stuff like this, baby.
I'm gonna let you deal with this. This is gonna be the thing. You're gonna have to like
find a way to make you like it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to figure out how to make me like it. But another thing we're gonna definitely need is salt. And this is my pickling salt that I use. And like I said before, pickling salt doesn't have the flowing agents or various other different chemicals like iodine that will add off flavors or even discolor your brines or your food. Now the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of this stuff, and then it's going to be washed off. And I don't really see the purpose in using all that salt and then just washing it off. Instead, I'm going to use half as much, and I'm just going to let it sit, because the recipe does call for the leaves to sit in the salt, and it says to squeeze out as much water as I can. But the thing is, why would I want to do that? I kind of like kimchi for that juice, you know? That's a good hangover cure right there, and it's a good way to wake you up in the morning. So let's cut this bad boy off. We're going to just remove the plastic. Oh!
Oh, you ripped his face off.
And then his ears left. That is a pretty big cabbage.
Yeah.
So, let's take the time to rinse this off real quick. Okay, we'll save that. So we want to cut this end off. I know I don't want that. We're going to use my Asian cleaver that I bought at the same store. And one other thing that I have to remember is that to really get this jump started, you want to use some of your fermented kraut, or even kraut water is perfectly fine. Now you don't have to do it, but it will speed up the process and make it taste a lot better. How do I know this since I've never made kimchi before? Well, because you know I'm a genius, that's why. So let's do the first thing. We'll take this gochujang here. Now the recipe calls for gochugaru, but gochujang is fine too, and it calls for a half a cup. Well, since we saw how big that cabbage was, we're gonna have to double it. So we're gonna go with a full cup. So that's pretty much gonna be all of this. So let's get.
And really, it's our understanding that the spice level in your kimchi is kind of up to you, really. So I mean,
Yeah. So like, if you like it
fine
real
with this.
spicy, go more. If you don't like it so spicy, use less or none. You know. Now we got that. Let's do our vegetables. And now with the daikon, we take the daikon and we take the. Oh, let's peel it off. You have a Silence of the Lambs moment. Bye, rabbits. So, but we want to peel this. We could probably wash it, but since we're peeling it anyway, not really much point.
And by way of TV magic, a bowl has appeared.
Yes, by way of TV magic. Let's give it a taste, shall we?
Important part of cooking: taste everything you do.
Ooh!
Pretty
Ooh.
spicy.
Ooh! Just spicy!
Just a little.
Little bit. Now we got the onion. Sorry, Vegeta.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Time to actually mix it all together. Now let's see how it tastes. We tasted it. It tasted real good. By that. And now we got this daikon. So we got the daikon gochujang mixed with the apple and the ginger. Mmm. Ooh. 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 Ah, that gochujang is hot. But see, it's not like the, hit you in the face kind of like heat that comes with peppers, with the seeds. Oh, I'm starting to actually, my heat's starting to rise a little bit. I'll tell you what, people, like, I don't know what you got, and I don't know what the world's gonna throw at you, but this right here, this mix, eat yourself some kimchi and you won't stop every disease. That's unendorsed. But eat this and you gonna not be sick. If you got the COVID, you got that COVID-19, eat yourself some gochujang with all the fixings in this. Make yourself some kimchi, people, and eat it, and you ain't gonna be sick no more. Okay, so after a little bit of time, we're gonna let that sit for maybe about an hour to maybe a half an hour longer. Because the whole thing was we're just trying to get the water to come out of it, and we're gonna press it into 2 different jars. That we have 2 separate batches. We could do 1, but just 2 separate small ones, no big deal.
So several drinks later, we're ready to resume.
Don't tell people that I'm drunk.
Wait. But I'm drunk too.
Don't tell people I'm drinking.
But I'm drunk too.
That's not cool.
But I'm drunk too. Whatever, what are we doing?
Okay. What am I doing again? Okay. So, after some time sitting, we can actually see that there is, and this is just one that I added a little bit later, but you can see that there's a considerable amount of liquid in the thing. And this one, and actually tasting it, it tastes salty, but not unbearably salty. And once we add this this paste, it'll be even less salty. And there's some water. It's no big deal. But one thing I forgot to add though was the 1 teaspoon of fish sauce.
We forgot the fish sauce.
Yeah, I forgot the fish sauce.
How dare we?
So come on. We gotta shake it out. Drip it, drip it, drip it, drip it.
The last couple drops.
Yeah, throw that in there. Okay, that's it. We ain't touching the fish sauce no more. And it barely did nothing. So now we got our gloves on. We're gonna get a nice tactile feel. Consider this the play it safe version of playing with fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, always wear protection when you're doing something potentially dangerous. Because remember, the kimchi that you finger is the kimchi that everybody else has fingered. I think that's how it is. Okay, so after we prepared everything, we put it in the warm, dark place to ferment. We're going to check on it after a time, and hopefully it tastes really good. I think it's going to taste really good. So this is making kimchi, and looks like we learned together. We're going to see how it's going to turn out. So you guys take it easy, all right? See you next time.